Silver Age has been taking off ever since its announcement, and while being only commons and rares limits the card pool, there are still a lot of cards to choose from when it comes to building your decks. And, like any format, it also has its own set of staple cards, and so today, I want to go over what I think are the top 10 generic cards that you should pick up for Silver Age. Of course, no top 10 list would be complete without some honorable mentions, and this one is no different. If you're going to be playing Sage, then you'll no doubt want to pick up each piece of the Blade Beckoner set from the Hunted. With limited options, both due to the deck building restrictions and the ban list, armor that can block 2 between attack actions and weapons is simply some of the best value that you can get in certain slots. Grabbing one of each will allow you to slot them into any deck where necessary, and this will be very important for Silver Age until we get more armor fitting for each class. Now, with the promise of new equipment made specifically for the format coming in the next set, there is a chance that Blade Beckoner can be much less useful, but it is really still worth picking up some for the meantime. Plus, there's a good chance that some classes will still want to opt to use at least one piece in certain slots, so it's good to just grab them now. But with that said, how about we get into the actual list? Number 10 on this list comes all the way back from the very first set, Welcome to Wraith, Unmovable. With Sink Below and Fate Foreseen banned in Silver Age, it leaves a bit of a gap in defense reactions for quite a few decks, which means they need to look at other options. Unmovable is one of those cards that never feels bad to park in your arsenal, and it does an excellent job at stopping one huge attack on its own. Best yet, while the reds are the strongest for actually blocking, the blues are also a great option to run due to the fact that they can also be your pitch if you need them to be. While low blue count heroes like Aurora, Syndra, or Kasai might not want to run this card, there are a lot of decks who would gladly have the opportunity to block some nasty attack reactions, one of which will be further up on this list, or dominate from heroes like Azalea and Bravo. So even though Unmovable is far from the best defense reaction in the whole game, in a format with only commons and rares but no sinks and fates, it absolutely is a card you should be picking up. At number 9, we've got Oasis Respite from Uprising. Wizards are a thing, and where there is Arcane, there is a need to pitch to it. Oasis Respite is a great card to run if Ether Iceveins, Ether Spindles, or Pulsing Ethers are a problem. But even against Rune Plates, if you pitch a blue to your Arcane Barrier, you can always use one of that pitch to play your Oasis to stop a physical attack as well. While costing 1 makes this card a little clunky, if you have a pitch outlet to use simultaneously, it's a very good card to run. Preventing 4 damage and potentially gaining a life is fantastic, and the fact that it can block any type of damage, not just one or the other, makes it much more flexible. Not every deck will want to run this card, hence its placement lower on the list, but Oasis Respite's ability to knock Wizards down a peg makes it a card that is very well worth having in some sideboards. Coming in at number 8, we've got a card that one day may see the ban list, Snatch. What's there to say about this card? Snatch has been a powerhouse staple since its release in Welcome to Wraith, and it's fair to say it's really good in Silver Age as well, with a slight caveat. See, while in other formats you can back it up with the Snapdragon Scalers to give it go again, Snappies are banned in Sage. This means that for a lot of heroes, Snatch will come at the end of a chain, with the draw effect working like a ponder token for your arsenal. Now this alone would still make the card strong, but there are still some heroes who can abuse it, namely Aurora and Briar. These two can easily generate embodiment of lightning tokens, giving Snatch the much needed go again for it to be a chain extender. Even Dromai can do something similar, using Chromai to generate an extra action point. While it's not as strong without Snapdragon Scaler, Snatch is still an insanely good card, and even getting a draw at the end of your chain to give yourself that extra card for the arsenal is still really powerful, and if there ever is more access to go again, I could see it getting banned. But until then, you should definitely grab yourself a couple copies. At number 7, we have this format's Command and Conquer from Outsiders, Humble. While it doesn't destroy the arsenal, Humble serves as an excellent form of disruption into quite a lot of heroes if it hits, as it shuts down their abilities for the turn. For example, Chain can't get free go again, Gravy can't play ally, Syndra can't re-equip daggers, and Azalea can't get Dominate. While it's not good into every hero, I mean it's literally useless against Dash, it has a wide enough application that it's a very solid option for your sideboard if playing 2 for 6s is something you already want to do. Plus, there are always going to be more heroes released who will need their abilities, and so it's just a really good card to get your copies of. Now, I suppose I should quickly address the elephant in the room as to why I chose Humble over Wreak Havoc as this format's CNC when, Wreak Havoc is much closer in abilities. Well, it's because, again, this format doesn't have Sink Below and Fate Foreseen, making Wreak Havoc much less powerful. So when it comes to 2 for 6s with Disruption, I think that Humble is by far and away the most impactful option, hence its place on this list. At number 6, we have a red line staple from Arcane Rising, Ravenous Rabble. This card is terrible in any deck running a lot of blues, but in red line aggressive strategies, it is an absolute beast. Attacking for 4 with guaranteed go again is just so damn powerful, and this card finds a home in decks like Aurora, Briar, Azalea, and all the Draconic heroes. Again, the only real hindrance to this card is if you start to climb a bit too high in blue counts. If you've got, 10 to 12 blues, you're probably pushing it, as swinging for 2 with go again is just not what you want to be doing with this card. That said, if you got my luck, you'll still be hitting your blues even when you only run 4, so what does it matter? But seriously, if you have any desire to play any aggressive deck in this format, then Ravenous Rabble is a must-have. And while it was originally printed in Arcane Rising, it's also seen reprints in History Pack, Outsiders, and High Seas, meaning that you should very well be able to find multiple playsets for all of your go-wide decks. But speaking of those go-wide strategies, number 5 on this list is Ravenous Rabble's best friend from Welcome to Wraith, Scar for a Scar. Unlike Rabble, Scar always swings for 4, but the go again is conditional on having lower life than your opponent. While this means you have to be a bit smart in how much damage you take, it still makes this card just a bit more applicable than Rabble. It can be run in the red line decks, but because you don't care about your pitch, it can also be run in heavy blue decks like Icelander. Now, while most aggressive decks will run both cards, Scar's benefit is the fact that its power is always set, making it a great chain extender, a chain ender in case it doesn't have go again, or it can just be a 1-card 4. While both this and Rabble serve similar purposes and are both great cards, I think that Scar for a Scar takes the slight edge, hence it being 1 place higher. And thankfully, just like Rabble, it's been printed multiple times in Welcome to Wraith, History Pack, Uprising, and High Seas, making it super easy to get your hands on. Coming in at number 4, we have a card that I was so sure was going to be on the ban list, but somehow avoided it, Pummel. This 2-cost attack reaction is the bane of my existence because every time an opponent plays it, it is just such a blowout. This card can be played in multiple colors, and some decks run more than just one, but the relevant part is the fact that if the attack you pummeled hits, the opponent discards a card. Of course, you can only play it on attacks that cost 2 or more, but classes like Brutes and Guardians have no issue with this. Pummel also has the ability to pump a hammer or club, but unless it's to get a surprise win in the late game, no one's doing that. No, Pummel would be put on things like Thump, a Bare Fangs, or the aforementioned Humble in order to catch your opponent and ruin their turn. Now, to be fair, with Old Knocker banned, you now have to be a bit more obvious with the Pummel. You're going to telegraph it because you have to keep an extra card to play it. But in a format without Sink Below and Fate Foreseen, Pummel is much harder to deal with. So if you're planning to play any deck that could reasonably play it, you probably should. This card is insane. As we get to the top 3 of this list, these are going to be the cards that are the most widely applicable generics for Silver Age. And here at number 3, we've got Arcane Polarity from Rosetta. While Oasis Respite has the ability to prevent damage, the 1 cost is a bit awkward unless you can use the excess resources. And while Arcane Polarity might only gain life instead of preventing damage, the fact that it costs 0 is what makes it so useful. Gaining 1 life is pretty subpar, but if you take any Arcane, this lets you gain 4 instead. Whether it's a single rune chant or a chunk of arcane from a wizard spell, Arcane Polarity is a fantastic way to buffer your life total at instant speed. While it won't keep you alive if you're facing lethal, the sheer usefulness of this card at 0 is well worth the slot in your sideboard. In fact, this is one of the cards I put in pretty much all of my decks. Again, even into Rune Blades this can be used, as gaining 4 in a 20 health format is very strong. I mean, there's a reason that they banned Sigil of Solace. While having Arcane Barrier is still the primary way to prevent Arcane, having this as a backup way to put yourself out of the killing range is super good for Silver Age, and unless something better comes around, this likely will be a playable staple for a long while, making it well worth the pickup. Coming in as the runner-up on this list, we have a relatively new card from High Seas, On the Horizon. In a format where generic 4-block defense reactions are banned, this 4-block card is the best we've got. Sure, it can't respond to attack reactions, and the ability to see your next card isn't super relevant in most decks, but the simple fact that there aren't really any other generics that block 4 without any hoops like Springboard Somersault makes On the Horizon a pretty good card for the format. Well, I guess there is actually another generic block card, Test of Strength, but considering that card could very well give your opponent a gold if you're not playing a deck with huge attacks, On the Horizon is still a much better choice for most heroes. Because, let's face it, while it might not be able to stop a Pummel 4 block is still great. Whether it's stopping the on-hit of a Snatch or trying to prevent a burn-up or boom grenade from going off, being able to block 4 with 1 card is still very good value, and without anything better, On the Horizon is definitely a must-have for any deck wanting to be even a little bit defensive. Coming in as the #1 card on this list, I have none other than this format's Fiendal Spring Tunic, Blossom of Spring. I mean Garland of Spring. I mean both of them because they're literally just the exact same card, but Garland is probably easier to pick up as it was printed in Super Slam, while Blossom is in various pre-constructed products. With Old Knocker banned, Blossom and Garland of Spring are the best in-slot choices for a free resource generic chess piece. Sure, doing it as an action isn't as good as it is at instant speed, but being able to get the resource you need to start your turn is super valuable. Sometimes you'll draw a hand of all reds, or even when you get a blue, that extra resource will sometimes let you play a whole extra card. This could be a Sweeping Blow and Dromai, a Death Dealer activation in Azalea, a Starfall in Aurora, or a Mark with Magma and Syndra. There are plenty of heroes who would love to have an extra free resource on demand, and the best part is that you can use it on any turn, even the first one. And sure, it's just a one-time effect, but considering this is a 20 health format, you only ever really need it that one time. So unless you're only ever planning to play heroes that have a better chest piece or never need an extra resource, then Blossom and Garland of Spring are absolutely the #1 generic pickup for Silver Age. Well, that is it for my top 10 generics for Silver Age. Are there any that I missed that you think should be on the list? Leave it in the comments below, and while you're down there, hit that subscribe button for more Flesh and Blood content. Thank you very much for watching, and an extra special thanks to all of my patrons. Huge shoutouts to the Giga Chads Geeks first, Elixir, Vinny, John, Ty, Chemical, and Dark Memoria. Then we've got the Alpha Chads, Thomas, Zajima, Approximo, and Mike, and then there's the Super Chads, Cece, Ben, Yogbadoodles21, Kevin, and Wolf Shadowmancer. Thanks again as always, and stay Chadly, my friends.